Q4, once you start getting to the point where you guys are trying to close tons and tons and tons of business, Q4 to me is I'm already in the next year, right? The way I look at a Q4, number one is I already feel like I'm in 2026 already. Because most of the new deals, specifically, new deals, I'm in 2026. So like, because most deals are not going to close right now. They're going to be they're probably, it would be great if they closed in 2024. I mean, again, depending on the type of deal, you might be able to pull it off. But think about it, a 45-day due diligence and a 45-day close, just to get through attorney review is going to be 2 weeks, right? So you're minimally closing in January, maybe, right? Like you might close in February, right? So the point I'm trying to say here is that most of the time for me, and the way I teach my team is that Q4 is 2026, is already the new year, right? So basically October 1 finishes the year for all new business, because now it's like everything we're doing right now, when it goes into the pipeline, it's not closing until 2026 anyway. So what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for a great January, February, March, right? You're doing a great job for Q1 next year, right? This is what we're working on right now. Number two, for those of you who are like, Henry, like I really need this year to fucking work, right? Like I need money this year. This next part is for you. This is where literally, and I said this, by the way, I said this in the beginning, I said this in August, and I said this in September, where like you need to have your foot on the pedal to the floor when it comes to prospecting for new deals. Because this, for those people who need to close more deals, you need to be finding, I would say, there's a couple key criteria. Number one, you need high quality deals. Number two, you need to be finding, I would say, mid to small, not large deals. Because a lot of larger deals takes a lot of time, most of the time. Okay? I'm not saying all large. And by the way, when I say large, I mean 20 million plus, right? So this is, to me, is like 1 million to 20 million. I would just say mid to small stuff, easy stuff you can transact on. And I would go back to all of my past clients, right? Really active people, and get clear, what do you need that you would close before the end of the year on? And I would take all my energy and effort and work with these people. This is your VIP buyers list. I'm going to rip my VIP buyers list. Tell me everything that, what type of deal would you close on before the end of the year? Tell me, I need to know every bit of detail of what you're looking for right now. And I'm going to try to find it for you. So my goal is to have Q4 be the best quarter of our year. I would love to, try to figure out, I want to get exactly what your criteria is so I can go find it for you. You need to be a fucking maniac on a mission. If you want to make, if you're, let's say your year right now is like your goal was this and you're here, right? On this trend of dollars, right? On this huge scale of dollars and you're here, you should be working 100 hours a week right now. Right? If you want this, if you feel like you're so below where your goal is, or you're like, hey, like I still want to make Q4 the best year possible. Again, with commercial real estate, it takes a lot of these deals take some time to close. Now, we have a lot of deals that we're working on that take 90 days to close, and we have a lot of deals that are taking 30 days or less. The deals are 30 days or less are great opportunities, right? The reason why you can close a deal in 30 days is because number one, they're paying cash, and number two, the deal makes a lot of sense. Right? The deal just pencils. It's a very high quality deal. They're going to make a lot of money on the deal. So they're like, yeah, I'll close quickly. Most deals are in this middle round, right? Like they're all closing around the 60-day range, right? Like it's like a 30-day DD, 30-day close. Like a lot of deals are like that right now. So like, again, this is go time. Allow October to be like the biggest kick in the ass you could possibly ask for. Because if you're like right now, if you're not happy with where your financial circumstances are, this needs to be the biggest kick in the ass possible. 100 hours a week for the next minimum 30 days. I would even tell you to just go straight at 100 hours a week till Thanksgiving. Because I know no one's going to work the week of Thanksgiving. It happens every year. And then you got two, and then everyone comes back a week later or so, maybe 10 days later. And then you have 2 weeks of December, and then everybody's off from the 15th of December to basically January 2nd. You have all these windows of time, right? Like you literally have October, which is basically, I'm talking about actually, you know what? I'm saying right now. Let's talk about right now, which is September, what is it? 24? Yeah, September 24. You can go basically 100 hours a week to Thanksgiving, which is, I don't even know what day that is this year. Okay, you have this blockage. Then you're going to basically work from December 1 to December 15. And then nobody works the rest of the year. Then they come back Jan 2nd. That's how the rest of this year works. This is all you got. You're like, this is the main window, and then you have this tiny little baby window over here. But you're not closing it. I mean, this is still January, February, March, April next year, right? This is the only window you have to close any deals. That's what I'm saying. You should be working 100 hours a week. Again, if you're unhappy with your financial where you're at, like your financial circumstances right now, you should be working 100 hours a week till Thanksgiving. Generating as many leads as you possibly can, over-indexing on generation of leads, figuring out and building, making sure your VIP buyers list, getting very clear of what they're looking for. What are they looking for? Find them the deals and close the deals as fast as you freaking can. You should be working like endless hours, right? Or you're not going to close anything before the end of the year. I want to shout out some people real quick and then we're going to dive into your question, Maya. Okay, real quick. John says here, seller about to accept an offer on industrial piece of land for $3.5 million. Been working on it for about 6 months, finally coming to an end. Nice. That's awesome. $3.5 million. Nice. Let me know what kind of commission percentage you're making, because I'm always interested in seeing that so I can try to help you also increase that if it's not 6 points. But anyways, congratulations. Mary Jane, 1031 exchange coming down the pipeline. After sale completes, tenant rep, contact 5 potential listings, 3 fell through, 1 additional listing off market. Love to see it. Any other wins, drop in the chat. I always like to shout you guys out. Maya, let's talk about it. So we were talking about starter offers. What was the other one?
And then I had just a question about this one industrial property. I called them.
Yep.
They want to sell. They're interested. I keep asking for their financials and they keep like postponing. But then when I confirmed our appointment for Friday for a walkthrough, I was supposed to get the financials before them. She kept postponing. Yep. And now she's saying, I'll have them for you Friday. So I can't give her an offer. I can't pitch anything yet,
Yeah. Okay. So did she give you a price?
She did. They said the one next door is going for, according to her square footage, she said between 2.7 to 3. But they want a lease back. But they're paying under market.
What type of deal is this?
Industrial property.
Okay, it's an industrial. It's owner occupied?
Yeah.
100% owner occ?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And you said you were waiting on financials? There is no financials.
Well, she won't even give me the exact amount about how much they're paying. She said it's around
15. It doesn't matter what they're paying.
Okay.
It's owner occupied. Think about it. You and I own a building together. Okay? We own a very successful business, makes $1 million a year. We own the building. We could be paying ourselves $1 a month, or we could be paying ourselves $25,000 or $50,000 a month. It doesn't really matter, right? Like the number's an irrelevancy because it's really just a safe haven for us to save money. You know what I mean? Because we're paying ourselves. So this number is it's an irrelevant rent.
Okay.
But she wants to lease it back, you said, which is important.
Yes.
Right? Okay, great. By the way, you could literally just say, just curious, what do you pay yourself on a monthly basis? Right? Like, I don't need a document. The document's not
going to give me an exact amount. She was like, it's around 15,000. It's about almost 20,000 square feet industrial area. And typically it's going for 10 to, I think, $11 a square foot. So they should be.
She has 20,000 square feet. I'm just trying to take notes.
Yeah.
Okay, 20,000 square feet. But again, when I'm talking to her on the phone, I would have been like, hey, Sally, just curious, like, and I know that you own the property. I'm just curious, like, what do you pay yourself in rent every month, roughly?
Yeah, she did. She goes, well, I'm not sure. It's around 15. I don't know how she's not sure.
But hold on, that's fine. So hold on, around 15. Totally fine. That's enough information. No problem. Okay. She says 15K a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not a problem. All right, let's break this down. So we have a 20,000 square foot property. Quick question. In your market, what do you think this sells on a price per square foot basis?
Well, rent is going for 10 to 11 per square foot.
Triple net? Gross?
I don't know. I'd have to look. It's been a while.
Okay. No, and by the way, like really quickly, all I do is I go to CoStar, I do a radius search. Here's my subject property. I do a radius search until I can find 5 to 20 lease comps in the last 12 months. And that's it. And I look at all these comps, and let's say they all range between, $8 to $12 a foot, triple net, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. But, ideally, let's figure that out. If you want to take a minute to look that up.
Sure. Let me go get my papers.
Yeah, that's fine. Real quick, Khalid, close on a 4 unit 2 weeks ago, $23,000 fee. Congrats, bro. That's amazing. What was the price point of the property?
It was the smallest, like 305.
305. I mean, hey, to make 23K on a 305, that's what we like to see.
It was a 28K fee, but I ended up giving concessions to the buyer for closing.
Listen, man, you still made, what is that, 7%?
Yeah.
That's not bad. I like it. Nice job. We're gonna get your price point up. We're gonna get your fee up. That's what we're gonna do here. So based on your docs, Maya, what do you see? Because there's 2 things that are important. We're gonna need to figure out the lease rate. Okay, and I also want to know the price per square foot for this market for the actual sale. Do you have both, or I can help you do it?
Yeah, if you don't mind. I don't know. I don't have access to CoStar right now.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I always just do it on my phone, so let's do it. All right. Do you want to just text me privately the address?
Sure.
Because all I'm gonna do again, guys, is like I find the property, I do it on my phone. It's very easy. It takes me 5 seconds. I find my subject property, I do a radius search. I want 5 to 20 lease comps or 5 to 20 sale comps within the last 12 to 24 months. That's it. Very, very simple. And by the way, because it's very important to understand what these numbers are. Just let me know when you send it to me.
I don't think I have your number saved in my
Just
phone.
send it to me on Zoom privately then. That's fine. Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out that number first. And then based on these two numbers, let's say lease rate comes back at 10 a foot, triple net, or which we're going to figure out in a second, and price per square foot. Where is this, by the way? What town? Or I mean, what city?
It's Novi, Michigan.
Novi, Michigan. I know nothing about it. I'm guessing it's going to be around $8 a foot, triple net is my guess. And then price per square foot in this market, I'm going to guess somewhere around 100 to 120. That's my guess. Might be completely off, but that's my guess.
I sent it in the chat.
Oh, you said the chat. I got it. Yep. Okay, cool. Here we go. By the property, 20,000 square feet. I see it. She bought it for $950,000 in 2014, and she runs the business there. Okay, cool. Now, what I'm going to do here is I go to the map function, which I know I normally can hold my phone up, everybody, but in this case, I can't. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to find the property, and then I'm just going to zoom out around it, and I'm just going to keep zooming out until I'm going to do sale comp first. So let's do industrial and flex. Then we're going to do sale date last. Let's do the last 12 months first. And let's see how many comps we got. We only got 3 all right next to each other. 76 a foot. Oh, geez. 118. There you go. 118 a foot, 76 a foot, 88 a foot. Okay, great. So let's write this down. So we got 76, 88, and 118. And I'm going to zoom a little bit farther out to see if there's any more here that I'm missing. 138, 68, 83, and 142. That's all the comps I see. Okay, now that's for sale comps. Really quickly, let's add up 68, 76, 88, 118, 138, 183, and 142. 130, 210, 240, 340, 420, 520, 560, 590, 600. Divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 600 divided by 7 is what? 90?
I thought 713.
Okay, might be off. 100?
Yeah, so it's about 101 square foot.
Amazing. Wow. All right, I was pretty much on point anyways. Great. So we have, let's just say 90 to 110. Okay? Great. Okay, let's do leasing now. Leasing comps, industrial and flex, and sale date last 24. What's important to do, though, by the way, when you're doing lease comps is to realize like this spot is 20,000 feet. It's not really one of those types of properties where you're going to chop it up, right?
Yeah.
This is an owner-occupied type of property. So it's like, a big warehouse, very custom. So when you're looking at lease comps and you're like, oh, well, there's a bunch of 2,000 square foot spaces that were rented for X price per square foot. It does not fucking matter.
Yeah.
We're going to have to look at properties that are at least, 5,000 plus square feet to even see if it's worth it. So this one here is $21 a foot modified gross for 9,500 feet. That's crazy. I have a feeling that's not, 14 a foot gross. Okay, let's do that one because I'm ignoring the other one. 14 a foot. That's gross, by the way. 6 a foot triple net, $8.95 triple net. And that was a 40,000 foot space. That's a great comp. All right, 3,000 feet, too small. But they're only asking between $7.50 and $9 a foot triple net. So, anyways, we got these. This is gross, by the way. So we got 6 of triple net. This one's probably going to be probably close to 9 triple net, right? Maybe 8. So you're looking at 6 triple net, 8 triple net, 9 triple net. You're probably looking at maybe 8 triple net average. Okay, so now we know everything, even though I could have just guessed. I love when that works out. So, anyways, lease rate, $8 a foot triple net, roughly. Price per square foot, $90 to $110 a foot. Now the question is okay, can we create this to be a really good opportunity? You have 2 ways to look at it. Can I get her an offer? Is this enough, by the way, to talk about what we were talking about before? Is this enough information to sell the property?
Yes.
100%. Absolutely. We can get this property sold, no problem, as long as the person's open-minded to pricing. So let's talk about this. So comp-wise as to what is current value? Because now, again, this is going to help you with your starter. When you're looking at these types of deals, we've talked about this before, you need 3 different price ranges. You're going to have a starter, you're going to have a current, and you're going to have a pro forma. Okay? There's 3 different values whenever you're underwriting a property. Okay, every property has the same three. You have a current value, you have a future value, and what I'd like to pay today. So let's do some numbers. Let's talk about current and pro forma first. So I always like to start with current. Let's get a clear idea of what current looks like. Current, she's paying $15,000 a month, right? This doesn't matter real quick. She's paying $15,000 a month, roughly, which is $180 a year gross. Okay, let's say that she's got, how bad are the taxes here? Do you know?
I mean, no, they're not really low, but they're not super high either.
What does that mean? 10 grand, 15 grand?
I don't know, honestly.
Okay, so I'm just saying, like, I don't know, ballpark. The reason, okay, so let's just say we're going to go with like a 35% expense ratio, let's say. Okay, 35% expense ratio, 180 times 35% is what? 18, 36, 154 plus 9 is 63,000. Okay, which means we have around a 120 NOI. It's 117, but I'm just going to round. Okay, $120,000 NOI. 120 NOI puts us into, in this cap, what do you think cap rate range here is? 8, 7.5?
Yeah, it's about 7.
Okay, 7. Beautiful. So we're going to do a 120 NOI divided into, comfortably do a 7.5 cap. What does that bring us to?
16,000.
You mean 1.6 million?
Oh, hold on.
120 divided by 7.5%. You had it right. So it's just that, it's just 1.6 million.
Mm-hmm.
So value here at a 7.5 cap is comfortably 1.6 million, which 20,000 feet is 80 a foot. So that's it. Now hold on. Now that's at a 7.5 cap. I like to do both just to be conservative. What's a 7 cap? So 120 divided by 7%, 1.7.
1.7.
Right, which is 85 a foot, whatever, 90 a foot, somewhere in that range. Okay, which is around where we were actually comfortably seeing things to be. Now, pro forma value is saying $8 a foot triple net. Let's do $8 a foot triple net. So you do 20,000 feet times $8 a foot triple net. What do you get?
160.
Great, 160,000. Right. This is pro forma values now over here. So 8 times 20K is 160 NOI. Now we got to take 15% off for vacancy management and maintenance. Right. So we're going to do times 0.85 for a net operating income. What do you get?
1.36.
136,000. Yeah. So 160,000 times 85%. We still need a vacancy management and maintenance budget for this property, even though it could be a complete triple net property. And obviously, if she rents it for a really long time, like a 10-year lease, it can be very helpful. If she can maybe steadily go up in rent, we start at $8 a foot. It goes to 8.25, 8.50, 9, whatever. Now you do 136 divided by a 7% cap rate. What do I do here? Divided by 7%. Yeah, right. So 1.9194 million to probably, let's say 160, because someone else might look at it like a little bit differently. 160 divided by 7%, 2.285 million. Okay, that's our range. Everything's ranges, by the way, just rough ranges, right? We got a pro forma number. Now that we know the future, right? We're pretty confident that we could easily be in these ranges. Current value could be 1.6. So it could obviously be worth, north of $2 million, 110 a foot, right? Which would put us right around the 2.2 range, right? Like this is all confirmed information based on what we looked at. Knowing these numbers, we now need a starter offer. Where should our starter offer be?
I think you said it's about 10% below current.
Which would be, no. So that would be the I would say that would be the maximum my starter offer would be. Maximum. More likely than not, I want to be like 20 or 30% less.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, okay, who wants to take some guesses? Who wants to say like what would our suggested starter offer be? So Mesa, you can go. I mean, everyone can throw it in the chat. They can help you.
1.28, 1.3.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, I'd say between $1 million to 1.2. Because the whole point here is that if they were to say yes here, like we're excited. Because if you said 1.5, what are you going to do? I'm saying we are pretty sure we could sell it here, right? I don't want to offer him 1.6. That doesn't make any sense, right? I would want to offer him $1 million, maybe 1.2. Right?
So you offer them the 1.2, but then when you take it to the buyer, you tell them it's 1.6.
Hold on. Now I'm saying this is the process now of like, again, now that we have enough information, you can kind of get a gauge. Like you're going to come up with 3 different numbers. Like this is how you're going to do your quick evaluation of the deal. Takes a few minutes. Like this is different. Now, when you're pitching the deal specifically, this is how we're going to look specifically at the negotiations page, right? Which is you don't have a price from the seller, do you?
The seller said they want around 2.7 to 3. They said that's what they think it's worth.
Okay, well, as we just calculated.
I know.
As we just calculated, it's not even going to be worth that in the future.
Exactly.
Right? You can say like, listen, if you're willing to sign a 20-year lease, this is how you do it, right? Because she's saying now, seller wants $2.7 million, which is crazy enough. I mean, we just looked at all the comps. You can show her all the comps. Nothing is in that range. The highest ever sold comp was $142 a foot, and it was like a Fortune 500 company. Where, there's no way you're getting 140 a foot. I mean, this market is a 90 to 110 a foot market. Now, look, if you want to pay her, this is how you can do it. It's like, look, you're going to do here's two options, okay? We could either get you probably somewhere in this range, like maybe here, right? We could touch a little bit here if they're willing to do this. Let me just erase some of this so I actually have some room to write without getting rid of the page. Number one, they could do seller financing, which would probably be like, hey, I still would want to be south of $2 million. Okay, I'd still want to be in my market range to start. Ideally, if I could be like 1.6, I mean, which it's not going to happen. Like this woman wants 2.7 million. I would try to get her off her high horse first with a starter offer and say like, listen, like we can get you maybe 1.4, right? Like I don't know where you're coming up with your 2.8 or $2.7 million number, right? And see if she's like anywhere near negotiable. So you can get her, off of her high horse of price. And if you can't get her off her high horse of price, you can maybe get her down to 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, somewhere in that range. The only way you're going to sell is maybe one of two ways. One is seller financing, which you're going to do like a 20% down, 4 to 5% interest, interest only for, 5 to 10 years, whatever the length of their lease is. Now, you can do that way, or if they are not willing to do seller financing, which would just make this even more difficult, you would say, then you have to pay $9 a foot triple net, 9 triple net, which is $180,000 a year. And she has to also agree, which by the way, divided into a 7% is only $2.5 million. I mean, like, that's it. That's at full with no expenses on it. So she would actually have to pay more than that. She would have to pay, if she wants 2.7 times 7%, she would have to pay divided by 20,000 feet, $9.50 a foot to get to a 7 cap. And she would have to agree to a 20-year lease, personal guarantee it, and she would increase by, let's say, $1 every year. I mean, or by like 3 to 5% a year, every year for 20 years. That's it. There's no other way to pay her that much money. And she's like, I would never sign that lease. Great. No one would ever offer you that price.
Okay. So let's say that, so how would I, like, let's say I meet with her on Friday and she's supposedly going to give me her financials and stuff like that. And it's around the numbers that we've been getting. So what would I tell her? Pretty much like, we can't get you that offer, or I mean,
you never say I can't get you. There's much better ways to word that. You want to show her the data.
Okay.
Right? Like I'm just curious, I would just say, how did you come up with your price? First thing to say. Just curious, how did you come up with your price? Well, our neighbor sold for blah. It's like, okay, well, let's do some digging. And you find out the neighbor actually, was, sold for $2.7 million, but it was 35,000 square feet. Okay. Well, the price per square foot was 80% higher than yours. I mean, the building was 80% higher, which means the price per square foot is exactly like I'm trying to tell you. That's why it's worth 1.6.
Okay.
Whatever which way you need to pivot is fine. And then you just say like, okay, well, how did you come up with your price? Well, most of the time, by the way, is that they were either told by some idiot broker in the past, right, or they were offered by somebody in the past, which could have been like, oh yeah, well, we were offered $2.7 million a few years ago. Great. Just out of curiosity, was it around 21 or 22 when interest rates were 2%? Yeah, it was. Okay, well, interest rates are 7% now. So one of two things are going to happen. Either you're not going to sell your property, which is totally fine. But if you'd like to sell your property, it's probably going to be at a price where you maybe weren't prepared to think about selling for. What would you like to do? Right? I'm not going to say I can't get you that price. But like if she goes like, look, well, a broker told me I can get $2.7 million. I'm like, look, is it a possibility that somebody with motive, right, to try to help, to get a listing, because that's how they make their money, might be a little bit biased, just trying to tell you what you might want to hear? I'm not asking for a listing. I'm here just trying to tell you, like, this is the facts, this is the data, right? I don't know what information that person was looking at that told you that you can get it. I looked at every single, you and I just did it in real time. I just wrote down every single one. The highest one was 142 a foot. And I think that may have even been newer construction. I have to look again.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, and look, it's okay, by the way, for people to be not motivated, and that's okay. Doesn't mean that we have to waste a bunch of time in trying to convince them to sell for a fair and reasonable price. We're just giving them the opportunity to maybe change their mind.